Boruto is a strange series. Naruto was a pretty massive financial success for Shonen Jump, so I'm not surprised that a sequel was made. Boruto carries on with the Naruto franchise and makes it even more money. It's what happened to Dragon Ball, and it's probably gonna happen to One Piece whenever that ends. While I don't have anything against the idea of a sequel inherently, Boruto leaves a lot to be desired, from its odd usage of cast to its just weird anime adaptation. Like seriously, this series somehow deluded people into thinking that calling filler anime canon somehow justifies awful amounts of filler. It's asinine. But no, because the Mist Village arc gets mentioned in the manga like once, it's totally okay. Like Boruto fans, y'all can be annoyed at that. Being annoyed at massive levels of filler does not mean hating on your series. Naruto fans weren't exactly pleased with it back in the day either. But wow, I am getting off topic. Really though, on its own, I don't even think Boruto is that bad. Boruto and Kawaki are pretty well constructed characters and they're the main focus. Just as a sequel, Boruto is awful. Just really awful in so many ways. It genuinely feels like Kodachi hasn't even read Naruto sometimes. And I can list examples of this, but it is never more apparent than with Naruto himself. Because this guy right here, this is not Naruto from the Shonen Jump manga Naruto. He's named Naruto, he looks like Naruto did in the last chapter of Naruto, but he ain't Naruto. I don't know what invasion of the body snatchers shenanigans happened behind the scenes at Shueisha, but Naruto's portrayal in Boruto is not only the most blatant form of character assassination that I have ever seen, it is the most nonchalant. Before getting into how Naruto's character was assassinated, we need to talk about Naruto's character and who he is by the end of his story. Since the beginning of the series, Naruto's goal was to be recognized and acknowledged. This led him to wanting the title of Hokage because he felt that was the ultimate recognition. If he could succeed there, everyone would have to respect him, and this is his goal for a large portion of the series. This all changes during the Pain arc. Pain is a character that was constructed to fundamentally challenge Naruto's way of thinking and his naive outlook. Pain believes that because of the way the world is, peace is unachievable through peaceful means because people aren't so ideal. When hurt, they just hurt others. Naruto does not have an answer for this yet, but he can't agree with Nagato's methods. In fact, he is close to becoming an example of what Nagato means, as he wants revenge for the death of Jiraiya. The important dichotomy here is that Nagato lost faith in Jiraiya's ideals and committed atrocities in the name of his goal. He is consumed by his suffering, but Naruto refuses to do the same. Naruto is pissed and wants revenge, but he refuses to go through with it because that would mean also giving up on the ideals that were entrusted to him. That becomes the basis of Naruto's character. His never give up attitude has been consistent throughout the story, but from this point on, it is backed by a firm sense of ideals and a goal he wishes to fulfill that goes beyond the superficial acknowledgement of being Hokage. From then on, being Hokage means being a real leader. The rest of the story acts as a challenge for this new Naruto. Will he truly not give up? Will he break under the pressure of the massive responsibility of world peace that he put on his shoulders? Will he give in to the suffering he is bound to experience on this path? At every step, he proves that he won't. He conquers his own inner turmoil by confronting it directly and without fighting. He gets Kurama on his side, a character who has been practically an embodiment of hatred and malice throughout the entire story. Then you have Obito, a character who is not only a dark reflection of if Naruto were to one day give up, but also a character that becomes determined to break Naruto's will at every step. And as his last great triumph, he defeats Sasuke and convinces him not to rely on his violent methods, effectively subverting the destiny that one of them would kill the other. Naruto consistently has his idealistic views challenged by harsh realities, and he consistently strives towards making his ideals reality anyway. That is the point, that if he gives up those ideals, he essentially loses. If he killed any of these opponents in cold blood, submitting to his baser emotions or his enemies' opposing ideals, then he would have failed. He would not be on the path to create the world that Jiraiya and he envisioned. Now, why does this matter to Boruto? After all, Boruto, the series, found itself in a strange position where Naruto is alive and well as the most powerful ninja in the world. It is almost impossible to not make him an important part of the conflict of the story. He fights more than one major antagonist, he is a part of this plot. But they aren't his villains because he's not the main character anymore, Boruto is. That on its own is not a problem. These antagonists don't have to tie into some new character arc for Naruto. But the entire purpose of an antagonist is to create meaningful conflict in a way that challenges the people that face them. They can be just a physical wall to overcome that's totally acceptable. Not everything has to be a deep character journey for everyone involved, but that's not the problem. The problem is Naruto has to be a part of these fights, at least that's how it ends up, and these antagonists are constructed in a way that forces Naruto to break character. Ishiki is the primary offender here. When Naruto first engages Ishiki, it's through combat. Now, Naruto is a fighter, that's absolutely true. Even when he resolves a conflict peacefully, there is usually a battle beforehand. The fighting isn't the problem. The problem is the very obvious intent to kill. There is never a meaningful attempt to resolve the conflict in a way that doesn't result in death. Now again, don't get me wrong, I understand that Ishiki is not a villain that can be reasoned with. After all, he's trying to survive, but the fact that Naruto barely even tries to find another way is just character breaking. And as if to spit in the face of everything that Naruto's growth has led to, we get Baryon mode. While all of Naruto's power-ups across the franchise have made him stronger, Baryon mode is a power only good for killing. Its main ability to shave off someone's life is so antithetical to everything that Naruto has become. And honestly, I could accept this kind of plot point if the story wanted to do something with it, because it could be interesting. Making Naruto fight a major antagonist that can't be reasoned with, that can only be defeated by killing. To make Naruto question his options and think about his path, but it's never brought up. Naruto never expresses any regret or guilt or negative feelings about that part of the situation. He doesn't even seem to care. And the super ironic thing about this is that the entire point of Pain's ideology is that committing violence only begets more violence, thus creating the cycle of hatred. Well, it's as if Naruto completely forgot this entire monologue because him killing Ishiki has made Code want to get revenge on him, and now Code is committing a lot of violence. All of the shit that Code is doing is partially because Naruto didn't even consider looking for an alternative solution. It is genuinely as if he learned nothing. He regressed as a character. And it's like the story doesn't even realize it. Naruto's entire journey has been putting him on a path to make a more peaceful world. A world where things don't have to be resolved violently and a different way can be found. He's a man who will always refuse to back down from his path, refuse to change because that would mean giving up on everything he was entrusted with and everything he has come to believe in. Because that's who Naruto is. Or was. I guess he gave up in the end. Fucking disgraceful.